If you're going to participate in high-risk activities, you need to make sure your attitude, skills, and plan are up to the task. Hi everyone, this is John with today's active self-protection lesson out of Mexico. This one is an attempted armed robbery or mugging that's going to go pretty wrong for the armed robbers. Teaches us some important lessons here about situational awareness, particularly in transitional spaces, and about fighting from our car to protect ourselves and everyone around us. The news story on this one says that this car here has a couple guys in it who've just taken some significant money out of the bank to pay their payroll, and they have called their friend to let them into a safe place. But before they can get in there, you see here we have the black car come up and cut them off and try to rob them. So these guys are going to come in, guns drawn, but the people inside are armed as well, and they get the first shots on target. So you see the one guy run off, and our guy in the passenger seat's going to get some effective shots downrange and at least drive that car off. And all of the intended carjacking armed robbers, I don't think it was a carjacking necessarily, but an armed robbery, are off. Now they got to get to safety though, and you just see how long this can take for them to get to safety because the driver's trying to get in, but the car door's open. I think I would have just driven anyways, but he's yelling probably and saying, hey, I can't go because the car door. So this guy kicks the car door closed so that they can get that truck inside of the compound. Now our passenger gets himself inside the compound and this one's over. Now, there are at least 8 lessons from this one. They are curated on our website, but I want to talk about the most important ones here. First of all is awareness that if you've taken a large sum of money out of the bank, you got to recognize that there could be people that could follow you. And if that happens, you got to be prepared for it. And our indicator here is this guy came whipping around the side of him here and tried to pass him. Now, you got to know that this could be a problem. And so use your car effectively to get out of the danger zone if you can. Secondly, I want to pay attention to the fact that this guy's door was open. Always, always, always lock your car doors. The second you get in the car, lock the doors. The door provides an effective barrier to protect you and everybody else in the car. Thankfully, the guy in the passenger seat was armed and he got the first shot on that guy who opened the door, and so he's fleeing. Now, our good guy here in the passenger seat is going to transition to the other targets, and you notice there that it had that puff of smoke. That shot, I think, was coming out of the car, not going into the car as he's trying to drive off the armed robbers. Now, I see here that our passenger also moves very effectively. It's clear to me that he's trained. You see him move laterally. He's got 2 hands on the gun, and he is trying to put fire on target so that they get the heck out of there. Seems like he does a pretty good job there, continues to follow up, and now he starts assessing what's going on. He breaks his focus on that threat once that threat's been dealt with, and he starts to assess what else is going on. And that's hard to do in the moment, but an excellent skill to work on in your force-on-force training and your empty-handed training, simunition, stuff like that, so that you can get everyone to safety. Finally, follow-up actions. You've got to take effective follow-up actions to get yourself out of the danger zone, not stay where the ambush is. And these guys are having a hard time because he's worried about that door. Thankfully, our passenger's not worried about the door, kicks that sucker shut, and now they're going to get to safety. All in all, I think that they could have done some things ahead of time to not get into this kind of ambush, but once it started, I think they did a pretty good job of covering their asp.